Shortly, we'll get an update about the 16-year-old boy who was allegedly shot and killed by police in Slovo Park informal settlement near Eldorado Park. But for now, let's focus on court matters. Mthokosizi Thwala, who is one of the people who was in the house when Senzo Meyiwa was shot and killed, took to the stand today. Thwala says the soccer player was his friend and they had known each other since 2002. He provided testimony of the events before and after the shooting of the slain soccer star. Our reporter Manqoba Mchunu was in court and is joining me now to give us an update, just to tell us exactly what were the highlights. Good afternoon, Manqoba. Welcome. Thank you very much. So it seems like Thwala's testimony was speaking about really what was happening and in the house at the time when the alleged robbers went in, and what were the actions taken by the late Senzo Meyiwa.
Certainly, Pradan. In fact, we got to hear from the second witness who was in the house when this incident occurred. Of course, you recall that we've already heard testimony from Zandile Khumalo, who is the sister of Kelly Khumalo, and she also detailed what happened in the house, that there were intruders that had come into the house. One of them was short, he had dreadlocks, and this was the intruder that she had said was carrying a firearm. The second one was tall, and in fact, she had able to identify him in court as accused number 2 was appearing in court. And we got to hear sort of a similar version from Mthokosizi Thwala, who detailed really the moments leading to the shooting of Senzo Meyiwa. He detailed, when the intruders had come into the house, it was just as they were about to leave to go to a party that they were meant to attend of one of Senzo Meyiwa's then a fellow soccer stars, Rema Humutsa. And he says that it was at that time, as they were just saying goodbye in the house, when then the intruders had come. Kelly Khumalo at the time was making a joke, and they saw one of the intruders coming behind her. And this is when they then realized that, in fact, there were people in the house. And he says he thought it was a joke at the time, but when he saw the firearm, this is when he realized that this situation was serious and that, in fact, this was a robbery that was taking place. So he says they were then asked to take out their phones and money by this intruder, and he says he managed to try and take one of the children that was in the way and take him to a place of safety in the house. And this is when a scuffle then ensued inside that house, and he says in that scuffle, that's when Zandile Khumalo's mother had then taken crutches from one of those who was inside the house, Tumelo Madlala, and had tried to assault this particular intruder. But perhaps then let's take a listen to how exactly that scuffle unfolded in the house.
Between Senzo
Enzo already said that the scuffle was between Senzo and the one with the firearm.
and then nalo wesibili komude ngangisenimnothisile no Tumelo ngikhumbula ukuthi omakakheli bathatha ama crushes, which was ama crushes kaTumelo, beshaya bezama ukushaya nabo labantu laba babela ngaphambi ngoba bonke babela ngaphambi kwami ngoba was 6 if I'm not mistaken.
And that is in the scuffle was between Senzo and this person with the firearm, as well as now with Tumelo, as well as the second suspect. What I also do remember is that Kelly's mother, they took Tumelo's crutches and assaulted or tried to assault the people, because all 6 people that I've just mentioned were right in front of me.
Okay, that was some of Thwala's recollections of the scuffle that ensued. But there's a matter, of course, that fatal moment of the shooting itself. What did Thwala have to say about that in court today, Manqoba?
Well, Thwala said that it was during that scuffle, Pradan, when suddenly he heard a gunshot going off, and he says that at the time he had then made a dash for it. In fact, he says that when he was running outside, this is where he had met Senzo Meyiwa going in the opposite direction. He managed to go outside and jump over a fence. I think we heard this from the testimony of Kaya Nqatshe, who indicated that there was a man who had jumped over the fence. He says moments later he then returned to the house to see Senzo Meyiwa lying down on the floor next to the sitting room. And he also detailed, but then the final moments of Senzo Meyiwa as he was being transported to hospital, and saying that they tried to keep Senzo awake. He says that he kept on checking with him whether they were still breathing at the time. He was gasping, and of course he also became quite emotional as he detailed what happened in hospital when they learned that Senzo Meyiwa had died. But perhaps let's take a listen to what unfolded during that shooting.
So obviously yonke into emotion ihamba kwenzeka yonke into fast engikhumbulayo engakuzi ukuthi ngezwa nje gunshot.
Okay, everything was in motion. It was just moving, and what I recall, I heard a gunshot.
And what was the respective positions of the people who were in the kitchen at that point?
Laba bantu ababesekitchen ke ngaleso sikhathi ke ema position abo aye kanjani?
Ekitchen noma ngisakhumbula phela ukuthi ama position aye kanjani kodwa ekitchen ngakusakhona uSenzo, uNtumelo, suspect number 1, suspect number 2, uMakakheli no Zandi. I think no Kheli said uKheli ngamkhumbuli kahle, but I think naye wayekhona amongst but ngikhumbula.
Although the positions I won't be able to remember, but the people that were still there, the very same people that were there, Tumelo, Senzo, suspect 1, suspect 2, Zandi's mother, Zandi's mother and Zandile. I think Kheli had also joined, but she's the person I can't remember, but I think she also joined them.
After hearing the gunshots, I think yathusa wonke umuntu.
After hearing the gunshot, I think it made everyone to be scared or shocked.
Ngoba kwaba khona ukuhlukana kuba khona kancane mina ngikukhumbulayo nje ukuthi ngabaleka ngaphuma ngomnyango.
Because what I do recall is that there was some separation and I ran out of the door.
Ngaphambana noSenzo, uSenzo eza ngala ngishuthi ngizothi mangibuka lesithombe ngizothi eza ngasefridgini. But mina ngiphuma ngomnyango lo.
And my path crossed with that of Senzo. Senzo was coming, if I'm looking at the photo, Senzo was coming towards the fridge.
Testimony there of Mthokosizi Thwala, a friend. He says he was a friend from 2002 of the late Senzo Meyiwa in court today. Ending that update for Manqoba Mchunu. The trial will resume tomorrow morning.